Tens of thousands of football fans came to Highbury. Electrifying.
Yes, guys, honestly, welcome back to the unbreakable, the unmistakable, and the always lateable TCP Live, coming at you live at 7:33 p.m. every Thursday evening on YouTube and available ad-free on YouTube memberships and Patreon.
Is that your Gary Neville?
It started out as Gary Neville, and then I realized I couldn't sustain it, and then it became sort of general Mancunian man, and then became, and I'm allowed to do that because my dad was from Manchester, okay? And then it became something else, Rohan.
It became whatever you wanted it to be at that moment. Do you know what I'll say? Right.
Eye of the beholder, you know?
Absolutely. Do you know what I'll say about Gary Neville, right? No, is it that way? No, it's not. Is it?
Yeah.
I think it's the other way. Is it?
No, it's this way.
Chat. Am I bugging?
I think it's this way. No, you're not there.
Yeah,
oh,
that's
maybe you are there.
Yeah,
no, you are there.
Yeah.
I'm bugging. Sorry, carry on.
You're bugging. No. Sorry, right. Gary Neville, he's low-key a very good commentator, isn't he? Like, when a goal goes in. Like, you know the Gabriel one where he just goes, oh. People are using that as a way of, Gary Neville's frustrated. I don't think he is. I think he's just, like, maybe shocked that we scored in that moment. And, yeah, I thought he added to the goal as well when he went, oh.
It's iconic. It's one of those things, isn't it? And I feel it was this with a lot of things, and a lot of football, where things only become iconic in hindsight, and they only become iconic when it's actually you've had a bit of space to like breathe or whatever. You know, that era or whatever. In the era, no one's going like, "Mate, this is such a good era." Everyone's just moaning all the time.
Yeah.
And I do think when Gary Neville leaves, not that he's perfect, not that he and Carragher and all the current sort of big pundits, not that they're perfect, not that they don't have their issues, but I think people will look back and be like, it was a pretty good era of like characters, at least. Like at least they brought something to the screen.
Yeah,
and also I love
for like 10 years as well. They've been doing it for ages.
I love the fact that he has like such a distinct vernacular. If you look at, oh my god, there was a comment on the Gary Neville podcast which I put. Did you see my tweet about it?
No, I'm not seeing it. No.
It like ultimately, I mean, that's a Gary Nevilleism. It's so good. Let me just bring it up.
A Gary Nevilleism.
It's so good. It's so good. Here we go. I got it right. It's like a top comment, and it's the fact that this many people like connect with it and realize what is being said is kind of funny. Do you know something? There's moments where I think to myself, at this moment in time, who would be the right fit for the Gary Neville podcast? I'm struggling, to be fair, to come up with a better name than Gary Neville at this moment in time. He's been, to be fair, the outstanding best-in-class candidate over the last, what would be 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 years, whereby he's actually been called Gary Neville consistently over that period, and has, to be fair, hosted what would be a number of podcasts. These are the credentials of looking for a potential host of the Gary Neville podcast, to be fair, and it's so important to get your recruitment right at this moment in time.
You've actually cooked with that as well.
But it's so as a pundit, like surely one of the things that you want is like not only to be insightful or whatever. And I think, I ultimately think Gary Neville just runs too many things to watch enough football, basically.
Yeah.
He runs like 50 businesses. But to have like your own kind of distinct style, I think is really cool. It's what you want.
Absolutely. I don't mind Gary Neville. I'm not. He obviously says stuff that I don't agree with. That can frustrate. But I genuinely think when we're talking about like Martin Tyler was the best commentator for me. I'm not hearing all this Peter Drury metaphors and poems and whatnot. I do not need that in my life. I just need pure crash bang wallop, just like screaming. And Gary Neville, I think he has his own little thing where he's capricious. He's unpredictable, isn't he?
Is that the word of the day?
No, I've got the word of the day, actually.
Okay, we'll come to it.
I'll come to a minute. But yeah, I just think Gary Neville, he's just like in the moment when a goal happens, I just think he's pretty class. Like,
yeah, he's decent. He's decent. I think they get a lot of hate. Ultimately, I personally, as people know, I never really, and I just find it a bit boring to go, the pun, and maybe it's correct that there are some biases. I'm sure there are. I'm sure there are biases. We know there are biases. But I just find it a bit of a boring conversation topic. Other people can talk about it if they want to. I just personally find it a little bit dull.
Yeah, 100%.
Because, like, have you noticed they've got biases? Yeah, so have I, and so have you, and so has everyone. Lucas became a YouTube member. Thank you, Lucas, my friend.
I think we have just recorded a rewatch as well.
Oh, tell us about that. Promote it,
It
Rohan.
was absolutely fantastic. It was me and my boy James, our second rewatch. We were cooking. We're cooking, but we're marinating. We're not simmering. Still a bit here and there, but we're getting there. And we did the Olympiacos first half, which was absolutely lovely, stupendous.
Yes, stupendous. We'll be discussing Olympiacos a lot this evening. But Lucas,
Word
thank
of
you
the
for becoming a
day.
YouTube member. Word of the day. Give us. By the way, the people have spoken.
Yes.
On the main podcast and on TCP Live, we will be having a word of the day. So here we go.
By the way, I was reading some of the comments, and one guy put, "I knew it was Rohan at the Cyprus airport." What?
Oh yeah. Oh, I saw that. Yeah.
Yeah. I thought, okay, that's interesting. But yeah, word of the day. I might be pronouncing this wrong actually because I've not come prepared.
Who cares, Rohan?
Inexorable.
I think it's inexorable.
Inexorable.
But I don't know.
Do you know what it means though?
No, I don't know what it means.
Okay, can you double check the pronunciation first, please? Oh no! I thought I'd just give it a go.
I think
again.
it's inexorable. Yes.
Inexorable.
Okay. Let me just get that up on. Here we are. Right. Let me pull it up. But I love it. We're all learning, Rohan. We're learning with you.
Absolutely.
Inexorable. Yeah. Impossible to stop or prevent.
Yes, I was going to say Miles Lewis Skelly's ability to receive on the half turn, carry, face play is inexorable.
There we go. He should have had an assist, shouldn't he? We're going to discuss. We're going to discuss Olympiacos. I think it is Olympiacos. Speaking of pronunciations, Olympiacos. We're going to discuss Odegaard. We're going to look at the season so far. We're going to talk about Opta analysts saying that we have the next, I think the most out of the next 5, the most winnable games. I think we're the easiest on paper fixtures, which is
about time.
Always a concern and about time. We're going to chat about Liverpool. And for the last half an hour, we haven't done this for a while. I want to take all your questions. I want to make this more interactive TCP Live. I feel like the last few TCP Lives have been a bit.
I wasn't here last time. How did that go?
It was great.
Yeah.
I mean, it wasn't you, but it was great. I love James, but
James class.
Olympiacos. You've just rewatched it. Talk to me.
Firstly, I don't know if you've been to Olympiacos and around the ground. My God, it's rough. It's a rough area. Yeah. I just everywhere I go, I like to just see some of the stadiums. So when I went to Athens, I thought, let me have a little look. Goodness me, it looks rough. So I quickly went back on that metro. Thought, let me get out of here. Anyway. Yeah. So I really enjoyed our first half performance in particular. I thought it was brilliant. And I feel like we're starting to really build momentum. That's kind of kick-started from that Newcastle game. Actually, I'd say the Man City game as well, because I felt our performance against Man City was really encouraging. And I felt in that first half, we saw a lot of the things that I think, we wanted to see in terms of what Odegaard's been able to do in the rotation. And I said on the pod, when we signed Zubimendi, and this was one of my big takeaways that I spoke to James about, where when we went into the season, we looked at Zubimendi, we looked at Rice, we associated it as, okay, that's going to be a traditional double pivot. And we have seen them too in terms of them rotating, staying deeper, etc. But for me, what I felt was going to happen is we're going to take a leaf out of the PSG book and how that midfield kind of maneuvers, rotates, empties and refills. That's the thing that I like to talk about, where they drop out of the block and then someone will enter the block and it becomes really difficult to mark. And PSG do it at a different level, where they have Dembele as well acting as the false 9 and him dropping in and out. And I feel like you're seeing that with Zubimendi, Rice and Odegaard, and why you saw Odegaard be so free in terms of moving laterally. And like I was discussing this with James, like, do you think that this would have happened last season if we had Zubimendi? And my feeling is absolutely. I 100% think it would have happened last season, because this has been dictated by the players. I've always felt that the players are going to dictate what we see from Arsenal in our next stage of our evolution. And I think Zubimendi is allowing for these rotations, and it's allowing balance, because I feel like the way we're using Declan Rice this season is the best possible way to use Declan Rice in a nominal 2, And with Odegaard, the best possible way to use Odegaard is in a high touch role, where he's able to get onto the ball, contribute to build up, roam, and to just find solutions. This is not someone who thrives in a low touch role. It's someone who needs to be on the ball as often as much in order for him to be able to showcase his best qualities. And I think that's something that is a big positive for me.
I mentioned your PSG analogy on the podcast on the instant reaction last night, and I think it's bang on. I really like. I think we sometimes give the coach a bit too much credit.
Yeah,
maybe
100%, 100%.
And it's a little bit too much like, oh, Mikel's decided this is going to happen or whatever. And actually, it's a lot more about the quality of the players you're putting together. And everyone know, if you've ever managed anything, people know it's ultimately down to the qualities of who you're managing. You know, yes, you put them in the right environment, you support them and you try and help them, but it's down to what they're doing. Like, you know, probably 70, 80%. I think sometimes maybe, and I'm probably guilty of it, and we're all guilty of it, I think, at points, but of saying it's more 50-50. And I do think it's probably closer to the players' qualities. And I think there's a sort of midfield conversation, then there's an Odegaard conversation. Just sticking on the midfield one, I do think this blend, whether it's Marino, Zubimendi, and Odegaard, or Rice, Zubimendi, and Odegaard, certainly in essence, as a kind of three who can sort of do everything. Yes, they have different strengths and they have different qualities, but I'll go back to it. Last night there was a Squawker stat that came out that not only did Odegaard create the most chances, he won the ball back the most times.
Yeah.
We try and put players in boxes and say, this is what you do, and this is your role, and you're the creator, and you're the hub, and you're the metronome, and you're the runner, whatever. And yes, maybe that's their strengths, but they can all kind of do everything. And what it comes to is, especially in these types of games, and actually I think Jim Milton in the comments makes a good point in terms of the games that suit certain people and when their strengths are there, what will stand out. I think specifically with Odegaard, with a bit more space, with a bit more time on the ball, as you say, with a few more touches, you start to really see him pop. But the players are going to pop in different games. If you imagine that three, Rice, Zubimendi, and Odegaard, there's going to be games that pop for them differently. And I think it's just about maximizing what they do. And I think specifically with Odegaard, Jim's right. Like these are games where he thrives. And I think these sort of early Champions League games, I said this last night, where there is a bit more space, people are defending in different ways, the behaviors are different. Martin Odegaard always looks great. If you go back to if you look through Mikel's home Champions League group stage record, it's superb. And I would say Martin Odegaard is like one of the best players in all of those. I looked through them and I was like, yeah, these are all sort of Odegaard games.
Absolutely.
So these are the games he kind of pops in. And I think, just to go back to this midfield three thing, I really do think is kind of for me the way to view it through this PSG angle. Through this, you've got a three. Zubimendi can go and be can carry and be the central hub, and Declan Rice will pop back and be the player who's taking it off the sixes for a while. Then if the idea is to spray the ball a bit further out, Zubimendi can be on the slant, and maybe they're both looking to play that ball out to Saka, wherever it might be. Odegaard's dropping up off because we're trying to counter press a bit higher. They can all kind of do it, and I think aligning them to such specific roles isn't the best way of viewing it, in my view.
Absolutely. And I think, PSG is the recent, team that does that. The best team that's ever done that is the Barcelona team with Iniesta, Xavi, and Busquets. We look at Arsenal and we look at teams, they like to play around the block a lot. That Barcelona team would only play in the block because they're constantly moving, they're finding space, and they're all free. They're world-class players. They're elites of the elites. And I just feel like it's not just Arsenal, but Liverpool are trying to do it as well. It's just this constant rotation, this emptying and refilling where you don't know who's going to enter that space, but somebody needs to enter it. And I do think Zubimendi is the catalyst to this, because as good as Thomas Partey was in his peak, Thomas Partey would never move laterally. You'd never see Thomas Partey move to the left because he was not comfortable in doing that. He was very right-hand sided dominant. And if one of the trio is dominant in only a specific section of the pitch, then that handicaps what the others can do in terms of where they can rotate. And my final point on this, and it goes back to, should Mikel get the credit for this? I don't think he should get a lot of credit for this. And the reason why I say that is because it is dictated by the players. My big prediction with Zubimendi was when he came to Arsenal, I felt like Arsenal won't be adapting to him. Zubimendi won't be adapting to Arsenal from a build-up perspective and how we move the ball. Arsenal going to be adapting to him because he's a different type of player, and that's what you're seeing. And this is why I go back to this idea of I don't believe Mikel restricts players from being free and having freedom. He doesn't do that. What I think the conversation with Mikel lies in terms of critique is, does he always get the balance right? Does he always put players in the most optimum areas of the pitch? Like, for example, Martinelli, left wing. So when he plays left wing, Mikel doesn't restrict his ability to be free and what he can do. So that's not. I don't believe that's on Mikel. But the question on Mikel should be: is that where Martinelli is at his best, and have the left-hand side dynamics been at their best to allow him to flourish? I think it's a different conversation. So I just generally think that this is dictated by the players. Like we signed Eze, we've signed Madueke. That signals change. That it's going to be changed. I don't believe the manager is going to be stubborn in his ways and say, "Okay, we're going to have to play this way." He's going to adapt to the players. So and that's what we're seeing.
Yeah, it's an interesting one. A couple of things to come back on there. I think. Well, last night I think what Mikel was saying, and he said in his post-match presser about Odegaard, he was speaking about the sort of the freedom, and he kept saying freedom about him. He was asked about it. He said on Odegaard's challenge of being a leader and creator, he has total freedom from my side to do and to explore and to tailor his content and to feel the moment where he needs to generate those spaces, and he's certainly done that in the last 2 games. I think he said freedom in another place as well. He might have said it. On Odegaard's performance, he's got all the license in the world to go forward, Martin, and to play with that freedom and to play with that level of threat, especially as he's pushing this freedom sense. He also did an interview with Joe Tomlinson, the guy who does...
Your boy.
He's a really nice guy, actually, Joe.
Yeah.
He is a good interviewer as well. And he was speaking to Mikel, and he said he was asked about sort of coaching a little bit. And again, Mikel sort of drove the conversation to this point. It wasn't quite asked by Joe, which I always think is an interesting thing. Like, what is he trying to get across? It's this one-on-one thing he did. And he said, you sometimes worry that you're overloading players with information, but actually the players are telling you we need that information because we feel lost on the pitch without it. And it's a really interesting part of the interview. He's saying, like, because I'm going, I just want to let you play. And I've said it, bro. Like, I've said it about, Martinelli, that maybe he's been given too much information, possibly, but possibly he wants the information. He's asking for it. And so do you deny a player the information?
Yeah.
I think really what this comes back to is, again, how you, the 3 that we have and how we view the 3. And is it 3 separate roles, or is it 3 players doing certain things based on their skill sets, or is it just 3 midfielders coming together and blending? And as you say, finding that right balance that Mikel's done. And I think to come back to maybe to Rice, there was an Opta Analyst article this week, and you go through it, and it's Rice. So specifically in the Newcastle game, Rice led all players for overall touches, completed passes, passed into the final third, line breaking passes, crosses, carries. He also ranked joint first for chances created, possession won, and tackles. Then when you go through sort of the rest of the team, the rest of the article, he had made more ball recoveries than any Arsenal player last season. Yeah. He, I think his carries in a second. Here we go. In a metric usually dominated by centre-backs, Rice leads the team in carries, overall carry distance. Against Newcastle alone, he carried the ball 260 meters more than any other player. He's made 52 line-breaking passes this season, the 3rd most of any Premier League player. His 17 against Newcastle, the most of any player on the pitch. Why are we trying to put this guy in a box and say he's an 8, or he's a 6, or he's the left 8, or he's a quarterback? He's an all-round midfielder. And going back to your point about the Barcelona thing, yeah, you can. There's strengths with Busquets. He's really world class at a certain thing, and Xavi and Iniesta are really world class at certain things. But don't discount everything else they're doing, and that blend is and we're seeing it. And I'm seeing balance is what I'm seeing because of that.
It's the salient factor. It's like just allowing these players to not be confined within a box. Like last season with Declan Rice. And listen, maybe this could be due to a number of reasons, such as injuries, as to why we used him in the way that we did, which, Declan Rice has been fantastic since he came to Arsenal. But my feeling with him is I just think there's another layer there that we've not been able to unlock yet, because we're not using him the way that I personally wanted to. Like Declan Rice, inside the block, receiving back to goal, he's just not comfortable doing that predominantly. I actually do think he's got better at crashing the box, but it's about, like, the Newcastle game, the Jacob Murphy in behind breakthrough and goal. Declan Rice is in a position to stop that counter, but he would not be in a position to stop that counter if we're asking him to be the guy constantly crashing the box. There's just balance to it. Like, I know for a fact, if there is a speedy winger and our rest defense, right, if we're using that sort of terminology, is broken, who do I want there chasing that man? I want Declan Rice to be chasing him, as we saw in that moment. And I just think that the balance of the team is just a lot better, where I'm looking at all 3 of our midfielders, and I'm thinking, we're playing to the strengths of each of them, and I didn't feel like that was the case last season. And that could be due to a number of factors. And this is why I do think it's all dictated by the players. And why last season we all said injuries was the biggest driver as to why Arsenal were not able to achieve some of the goals, well, the big goals that we had in terms of the Premier League and in terms of the Champions League as well. And that's the way I see it. And you have frozen, my friend.
Sorry, no, I'm back.
Oh, you're back.
Sorry.
Yeah. But that's the way that's what I felt. And like this season, I remember, like, last season, maybe people would have felt in the pod, we're constantly looking at injuries. When we played Liverpool, we had injuries, but we didn't even talk about it, did we? And it's kind of like we're just in a position now where I feel we can see the best version of ourselves now with what we have and tools.
I think the difference, let's say, with Rice specifically is, he probably was spending a little bit too much time last season doing things that just don't quite suit him. The more freedom he has, the more he's dominating everywhere. And I think you've got to give that to Zubimendi. And now I think we saw the environment where Odegaard was more free and we saw a better performance from him. And it's about maximum freedom. And I like that Mikel's pushing that. And I think that is one of the big differences. Not that you don't know your responsibilities, not that you don't have things that you have to do, but where can you express yourself? And we're approaching a point, mate, where we as a group and as a squad, we have one of the most talented just squad. So you don't need to be so prescriptive and say this is what you have to do when you do this, ever. I think it's the big thing about like Ruben Amorim and like the whole system conversation. When you have the behaviors define the system, I truly fundamentally believe in this. Conte and Glasner and all these guys, they've proved that 3-4-3 can work to some degree, whether it's title winning or whatever, but it can be a thing, right? It's about the behaviors. And as long as the behaviors, which have been drummed into this Arsenal squad for how many years now, are there, when we lose the ball back, we get compact or whatever it is, then the other stuff, you can begin to put your own spin on it. And I think that's what we're seeing this season, which I like. Absolutely.
And this is why, like, when I was in the rewatch of James, like, there's certain things that I just know are going to happen. It's intuitive because that's how the team plays. And that's why I always like to say nominal, when we talk about like system, nominal, because if I don't say that, I feel like I'm doing the team a disservice and saying, okay, it's just that structure and that's the way we play. No. It's not the case. It's the behaviors and intentions. Like you see the way Glasner plays, you see the way Spurs play under Conte before and the Conte teams of Chelsea, etc. Like nominally, they're very similar systems. But they don't play the same way. They just don't. And that's my whole point of it. And my final point about Declan Rice is like, who was the player that he really loves? Do you remember the one player that he didn't? He's done an interview with him as well. Played for Barcelona, played for Man City, all round engine monster midfielder.
Oh yeah. Sorry. Okay.
And you can kind of see how he plays. Like that's the best way to use him is in the Yaya Toure-esque fashion. Yeah. So
yes. Yeah, it was a good night. I mean, let's talk sort of more generally about it, and then we'll go some comments as well because I want to get your guys' takes on it. George and I sort of discussed it. It was kind of like one of those nights where George has this phrase, "first world problems," and I kind of agree with it. That like you wanted it to be like 5 or 6, and it wasn't. But it was ultimately a night where the way the second half went, and I had this, and I wonder if you felt this on the rewatch. I think we were trying to show we knew we were much better than them. And I think there were points in that second half where we weren't, again, back to behaviors, just some of the behaviors in possession, putting your foot on it when it needs to happen, when you need to, and, allowing your teammate to get back into position, wherever it might be. The behaviors, we're trying to go forward too quickly. We were trying to impose ourselves on the game and say, no, we're way better than 1-0, whatever. And moving past that, you're just doing the right thing over and over again. And I felt periods of that game we were just trying to move the ball too quickly. We were trying to make that dominance and us being too good count rather than just doing the right thing. And I felt it lost us control of the game a little bit. But that said, mate, we talk obviously we talk a lot analytically and stuff, but it's 2-0 in the Champions League and we're back at something. What's the record now in the Champions League under Mikel? Let me look it up.
Oh,
it's
absolutely
crazy. Ridiculous. I think AFC James tweeted it. Let me try and find it.
I mean, if just off the top of my head, in terms of defeats, we've lost to Bayern Munich, Inter Milan, PSG. Like these are serious teams. Outside of that, we're still.
Here we go. So group stage and league phase home games under Arteta: 4-0 against PSV, 2-0 against Sevilla, 6-0 against Lens, 2-0 against PSG, 1-0 against Shakhtar, 3-0 against Monaco, 2-0 against Dinamo, 2-0 against Olympiacos. We haven't conceded, mate.
Yeah, it's nuts, mate. It genuinely is.
We haven't conceded. Arsenal in the Champions League under Arteta, 26 games, 57 goals, 18 conceded.
You know, by the end of this Champions League campaign, if it goes the way that we expect, if we hit like minimum quarterfinals, there's a very good chance that Saka becomes our third all-time top scorer in Champions League history.
Crazy.
It's
crazy.
the team's performing at a really good level. I think we're in a really good moment as well.
Yeah.
You know, Atletico Bilbao away from home, their first season in the Champions League in 11 years. You know, and we were able to dispatch them pretty comfortably, I'd say. You know, I think naturally you feel tense as an Arsenal fan, but I thought it was a comfortable game. And yesterday, you know, I actually agree with your point, you know, in terms of the fast pace. So we didn't rewatch the second half. We watched the first, but I have rewatched the second half. And I felt it was kind of like a Liverpool game
Yes.
under Jurgen Klopp. And that's where it goes back to behaviours. And I feel like that would have annoyed Mikel because we weren't in control in certain moments. I'd say there was like a 10-minute spell from post 70 minutes in that they didn't create anything, but it's the fact that you don't feel control of your environment in that moment doesn't sit well with them. Like, go back to last season. So I really remember it vividly where we played Everton at home and we drew 0-0. Right. And Mikel looked at all the data. He knows everything. He said, you know, we earned the right to win. We deserved the win. You know, it was a good performance, etc. And that was the 0-0 against Everton. Then we played Palace away from home. We beat them 5-2 and everybody loved it. And Mikel was like, no, they created a lot of really dangerous situations, you know, and scored 2 goals, could have scored another or so. And he puts a lot of emphasis on that. So he's very driven. I don't think he'll ever change this way. He's very driven on being able to control the game as much as possible, and that in control in a way in which you can win 5-0 and concede nothing. He doesn't want to score 4 or 5 goals but concede 2 big opportunities as well. And I feel like that's what it was in that period against Olympiacos, where we were still threatening, but they were also threatening.
Yeah,
and that balance he doesn't like.
And this is kind of. This is like almost my critique of Mikel at points, which is like
a lot of people's critique is as well.
It's kind of unfair because it's actually the only thing you can do is control what you can control.
Yeah.
Like do you know what it is? It's this. I would probably have a very, very, very good life and a very, well-lived life. Waking up every day at 5 a.m., going to the gym, working for 3 hours, you know, eating right, doing all that. Like, absolutely, I would probably have a very good life. There would be days that weren't as good because you can't control things, but generally I'd have a very good life. But sometimes I want you to wake up and go, do you know what? Today, I'm just going to go to the beach.
Yeah.
I'm throwing it off. And like that, it's that thing. And the thing is like, ultimately you are right to consistently focus on those things. And I think it is shifting. Like, to be clear, I feel that shift. And I think that the focus on freedoms we were speaking earlier about. But I think, I just think occasionally a life well lived and a football team well coached has those days where you don't worry about that stuff. And to get over certain lines, I do think you need that invention, that spontaneity. Because I get it. I do get it. And I said this on the instant reaction as well. Like, this is the sort of day where I'd quite like him to not rip into them, but like be like, guys, just to be clear, we want 2-0, yes, but some of those behaviors were not good enough. But yeah.
Do you think he's just too structured in that sense? Like, from
he's
that
kind of that guy, is it? Like, just watch him being interviewed. Like, I don't know him. But I imagine his life appears defined by routine. Getting into the office, doing his meditation, and that's, you get 99.9% of the way there in life. Please don't think I'm like critiquing that at all. But there are just days, moments where and I think that's ultimately been one of the things that's stopped us getting over the line is signing an Eze to be like, do you know what I mean? That Eze is going to the beach. Like, it's like one of those things. And I don't think Mikel in principle would ever disagree with this. But it's kind of like the Tim Lewis thing, isn't it? Tim Lewis was there when we needed to get our house in order, when we needed to get our finances sorted, when we needed to, make sure that we were doing the right things, getting back in the right table, giving out the right contracts, all those things. But to truly get over that line, maybe you just need
Yeah,
Someone
exactly.
who's willing to sell the women's team. Do you know what I mean? Occasionally you do need that. And I think
That has been my feeling though about that. You know, we spoke about it on the main podcast. So I'm thinking, okay, right. I don't know much about this situation because we're just not, unfortunately, going to ever be exposed to the.
it would be ultra crepidarius.
Exactly, Alex. But I'm thinking to myself, okay, why is he left when he's been there for that long, and we've seen how other teams are operating and the change and loopholes, as we say, other teams finding loopholes within the system, and there always are. And Arsenal go by the book. When I'm like listening to experts in the field, some really good like accounts, like Kieran Maguire, for example, is a good one. Magic Hat as well on Arsenal as well. He's another really good account as well. And they're all kind of pointing to the same kind of topic. Hand of Arsenal as well. It's like Tim Lewis was someone who was very strict and let's go by the rules. Let's do everything in accordance with the guidance that is there. Maybe we are being a little bit different with this change in approach, or maybe we're not. Maybe we're going to stay with the same way. It's just we want a different vision, with Josh more involved and whatnot. So I don't know, but yeah, it's interesting because it's going to have Richard Garlick in a more prominent role, isn't it? So
where's Richard Oregano? That's my question.
Who is that?
Oregano. You Americans say oregano.
Oregano. Who's that?
Oregano and aluminum. Thumbnail check time. Oh, it's a good one. Oh, it's a good one.
Oh, that is very good.
It's absolutely sensational. I feel like Forder is on like a bit of a generational run at the minute.
He is. That's very good. That's very good. I've seen that as well. I've seen the Acropolis. Oh, no, it's not called the Acropolis. It's called the Parthenon, I think.
Parthenon. There's Odegaard with his. Where's the hidden Rohan? Oh, you've got a little.
Apparently, it's in the badge. Apparently, it's in the UEFA Champions League badge.
Oh, there it is.
Yeah.
Very good. Very good. And there I am.
Stood next to Odegaard's new trim.
Why is my hair like that? Crazy. What do I think of Odegaard's new trim? Interesting question.
I actually think it's better.
Yeah, less hair flicks.
Less hair flicks, yeah. Do you think he was conscious?
I mean, like
maybe
it all goes in, doesn't it? It all goes in. Like,
listen, they're not like they are definitely looking at what's online.
Of course they are.
I refuse to believe
of course they are.
So
yeah, no, I think they probably are. Yeah, no, that's good. No, I'm giving that a 9.5.
I'll give it a solid 9.3.
9.83.
No, 9.3.
9.3. What would make you give it a 10?
When we won the league and we're doing a thumbnail check, I'll give it a 10 regardless of what's there.
Oogie Boogie's asking what was the mispronounced word of the day, chat.
I didn't have time. I didn't even bother looking at it today.
But
Inexorable.
Inexorable, I think.
You know what it is though? When you read, right, I don't bother like checking the pronunciation. I'll just say how I think it is. Maybe I should
say it how it is, mate.
I'll just say
it how it is. Get the manager out. Some people are saying Turkish has left AFTV. I don't know that.
Oh, really? Yeah, I saw a lot of Turkish chat on here.
Yeah.
Is that a bomber? Is that a bomber?
I'm not sure it's a bomber. It's not a bomber from us. I think people know that. But
within the Arsenal community, though.
I met Turkish once at a party. Nice guy.
Did you? Yeah, he seems sound.
Yeah, he's sound.
Cool. Do you know who else is sound? AFT James. What a lad.
AFT James. AFT James. Snob. Word of the day. Oregano. It was a bomber on Monday. Oh, I missed this. Okay. Rohan.
Yes, sir.
Liverpool are in crisis. Talk to me.
Okay, can I tell you?
Give me 2 seconds.
Can I tell you where I watched?
I can hear you though.
Okay, right. I'll tell you where I watched it. I was in a boat party, in Cyprus, and it was fantastic. I was doing the best hate watch of all time, because there was like 8 of us.
Sorry.
Yeah.
You were on a boat.
Yeah.
Presumably enjoying yourself. Let's put it that way.
With my orange juice. Thank you very much.
With your orange juice.
Absolutely.
And you were watching Liverpool.
I had it on the background. I didn't watch it like properly. I had it on the background. I was like, I gotta put it on. Like, have to put
You're
it on.
on a boat. Where were you again?
No, but it was luckily like I was thinking like the signal's gonna cut off, but we were still going near the shore, so I was getting the signal. Do you know what I mean? I was getting the signal.
You are a sick man.
But I tell you what, I loved it. Well, I can't lie.
You need a little break. But this is how you end up
I
remembering
did trust me.
everything.
Trust me,
since
I
2002.
had a great time. I didn't watch any of the football outside of that, but it was Liverpool Palace, and I had a feeling in the stomach. I had a feeling there that it was going to be a drop point.
A feeling in my tummy.
Tell you what, mate. Though it was the boat was brilliant, and we're exposing the posture. Oh, Alex, you're going to need to go to the chiropractor.
What's wrong with my posture?
Everybody's posture is slightly wrong to a certain extent. You have to sit like this. You have to sit.
What's wrong with my posture?
You have to sit like this to have the best posture. Something like that.
DJ Powder is asking, we need context. What sort of boat?
It's a boat, isn't it?
Boat in it. Yeah, but it wasn't like a rowing boat, was it?
She's like a ship. Yeah.
Never done a boat party.
It's actually pretty cool. I can't believe I missed the 2 Arsenal games. Well, I did catch the last 10 minutes of Newcastle.
And you went back at this guy. Can I just say this? This guy went back and watched Port Vale.
I'm fully up to date now.
This is my full-time job. I would not do that ever.
But do you not feel like, okay, I've missed it? I might have missed certain things. I get that in my head, thinking I might have missed something. Like here and there, I didn't miss anything.
Yeah, but if I'd missed like 20 minutes of a game, I'd go watch it. I wouldn't watch a whole 90 of Port Vale.
So I actually I had annual leave. I took 2 days of annual leave last week, and I thought I've got loads of annual leave still left, so I'm going to take the whole week off and catch up and do stuff that I want to do as well. So
right, shut up. Analyze my spine. What's wrong with
it?
it?
Right.
That's my posture.
I think maybe it's a little bit too frontal. You need to
frontal. What does that mean?
I think it's like, oh god, my chair doesn't move that much. So
when I did Martinelli neck analysis,
you're like that a little bit.
Like that. What? So I should be further back?
No. I think like you need to be a little bit more. You're on a bit of a slant now. If we're looking at that's the reference.
Let me sit.
You're a bit 5 degrees. You're 5 degrees off.
That's where I am.
Yeah, I feel like you have to like have your chest out a bit. I think, isn't it? Like a little bit.
Chat. What are we saying? What are we saying?
Head's too far forward. Apparently, one of them saying.
My head's too far forward.
To be honest, I am terrible.
Neanderthal DNA. Simon, how was your operation, mate?
Yes.
I hope it went all right.
Yeah, I hope it did.
Martinelli posture, says Louis Gerard.
Did you crack your back a lot, Alex? I crack mine quite a lot. Like if I twist my back now,
I don't anymore.
Oh, did you hear that?
Vaguely, yeah.
Yeah, that was.
Alex, get a chair with a tool. I've got a complex about my posture now. You guys are giving me a complex.
Have you ever had a sports massage?
I've had sports massages, yeah. I kind of want to go to a, when they crack your back. I love those videos.
God. Oh yeah, the sound is so nice. I had a massage in Thailand before. No, not one of those massages. No, we're being adults here. We're not. No. Anyway. Right, the glasses are off. We're being serious now. So,
yeah, you had a massage in Thailand.
No, so basically, me and my mate, right, we're going around.
Your mate?
We want the best massage. Oh, no, but we were asking them to make sure that they know about the anatomy and everything and every single muscle.
Yeah, I bet they do, yeah.
So, it was an hour and 30 minutes, and I was in agony. I was in absolute pain. Apparently, they're meant to be like painful first off because you'll feel better like after a couple of days. And I'll tell you what, I didn't feel good after a couple of days. I was being thrown in the air. Well, not thrown, but like pulled in the air, like elbows in my back. Like it was not nice.
To be fair, I did a couples massage. I went to Italy and we did a couples massage. No, not Italy, Greece. Doesn't matter. And the woman was like, but obviously, like my ego was like, I'm not saying anything. I'm not even like, because my girlfriend's in the room, and I don't want to be like, can you please go a little bit softer, please? But she was literally like this.
Yeah, that's what they do.
We've
That's
got-
what
we-
they
we've got
do.
your
Yeah.
elbow. You in no context do I need an elbow in my back.
Yeah, mate. Honestly, now you try that for an hour and 30 minutes. I was in agony. Now, oh, I should have got the foot massage. God's sake, it just looks so much nicer.
Simon says, Hypno says, a roaring success. They finally got the second offending electrical node. BPM is 10 lower per minute. Life is gravy, but good to hear, Simon.
Oh, nice, man. Nice.
Good man.
Really good.
Good man.
Really good.
Matt G. This is a family show, Rohan, says Matt G. Remember, for 24 months, Matt, you are the man.
Yeah, Matt's a legend. I
Matt,
see him out on X as well, I think.
Matt, did I speak to you about? Hang on.
Matt's a goat.
Matt's a goat.
Yeah.
Is he actually a goat?
Mm.
Did I speak to Matt? I swear I did.
Matt
I don't want to reveal what it is, but someone asked me. Yeah, it was. Yeah, Matt went to my therapist.
Oh, really? Oh,
yeah,
nice.
I'm sorry, Matt, for revealing your information online. But yeah, he asked me for a therapist I had.
Oh, nice. That's wholesome. Very wholesome.
Very, very wholesome.
Yeah, but that massage not good. My God. Absolutely finished.
Not
me
good.
off.
Not enough lube. She finished you off, did she? Liverpool.
I said that.
Liverpool.
Yeah.
Let's talk about Liverpool. They're in crisis. It's all over. To be fair, Alisson 6 weeks out. Question marks over slot. I mean, it's so funny that I'm taking any opportunity.
Do you know what I'm really interested in though? Right. So I saw Arne Slot being a little bit tense in press conferences, a little bit stiff, and not
doing this.
He's doing it. Yeah, he was a bit not rude, but closer to rude than what it was before. Now, this is my thing with this, Alex, right? So when it's all nice and rosy, it's very easy to answer the questions. But once a little bit of turbulence hits, it's a little bit spiky. That's when you...
Only certain man can do my just is here, hear me, guys.
And this is what I'm really interested. Let's say, right? It's very early days. It lost 2 games, actually, to be fair. But let's say they go on a little bit of a run of points dropped, and they have got some very difficult games. I'll be interested to see how he approaches the media, because I don't know. I didn't follow him during his final days. But right now, we see Arne Slot as the great man he is, brilliant with the journalists, very kind, polite. Mate, if Brentford are slapping 2 throw-ins on your head top, let's see how you face the media. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's true, though. Do you know what I mean?
100%.
Yeah,
100%. And I do. I know. I'm sorry. This is just going to come across like me being a Mikel fanboy, and I am. There is something to do. Like the media usage is a skill that I think gets underrated, because it sets the tone for how people talk about your team. There's like how the managers speak to the media and stuff. And Mikel, genuinely, he's a fucking master. Like, he really is. He has this thing he does, and I've said this before, where someone asks him a tricky question, he gets out of all of it by going, I don't know, but, and then he says the thing that he wants to say. So it sounds like an answer. It isn't an answer, but he'll be like, so do you need to win the title this season? And he goes, I don't know, but what we're doing is this. And it just diffuses the. It's really, really good. And I'm curious to see Slot under a bit more.
Just a really quick one, right? I still think this is a massive one. I think the Trent Alexander-Arnold, not being there, I think that's going to really hurt them this season. That guy, right? We talk about quality. He'd literally get the ball and he'd spray a 50-yard pass there for Salah to take on through and bang, goal. He'd do it time and time again. Not having that, and the change that we're seeing through the right-hand side, the change that we're seeing with the midfield, the change that we're seeing with the forward players that they've signed with Wirtz, Ekatike and Isak, I think there's a lot going on there, and that's why I do feel like there's an opportunity for us to capitalize on this. Because for me, mate, our next 5 games, if we win them all, we'll be top come the end of that next set of 5. And then we are the protagonists. Then it's on us, to be able to take it forward. I think this is a really good opportunity for us to see what Liverpool are made of in this next set of games, especially when we're looking good. We're looking healthy as well. And that's quite crazy, because we've still got injuries with the likes of Havertz. But yeah, I watched that first half and I saw the big moments, and I thought, this is another Alisson game. Alisson has these games where it's just him versus the world, and he prevails. And in the end, though, Eddie Nketiah, our boy.
Oh boy. Opta analyst, Premier League fixture difficulty for the next 5 matches. Arsenal supposedly have the. I will say this doesn't take into account where the fixture is. Arsenal have the easiest, and Liverpool have the second hardest. Arsenal next 5 is West Ham United at home, obviously this weekend. Fulham away. I think that's an easier game than it has been.
I agree.
Specifically, I think Eberechi Eze and that whole, I think that changes, and Zubamendi changed that fixture for us, but it's still not easy. Crystal Palace at home is going to be tough. That is going to be a tough game. Hopefully Ebbs can give us some thoughts. Burnley away. Ebbs, my mate. You know, he did just quickly on that, he did an interview, and it's Eberechi Eze is how you say it.
Eze.
But it's Eberechi, not even Eberechi or Eberechi Eze.
I've been seeing Ebery a lot. They've been shortening it.
Ebery Eze. Yeah. I'll call him Ebbs. But yeah, Eze. People keep commenting on the podcast. We will try and remember. Burnley away and then Sunderland away, making our opponent average rating 88.6. And Liverpool are second hardest. Chelsea away at Stamford Bridge, at home against Man United. And I know people will say it was Man United. United have a good record there, and United away at Liverpool is a different story. Yeah. Brentford away, tough. Villa at home, tough. City away, tough.
Listen, at the end of the day, right, I'm not saying Liverpool are going to, this is going to be their demise now. I don't know. They're still going to click. They need time to click. Just like all of these teams, there's a lot of change that has been undergone there. But my whole feeling with this is I just back us against them when we are healthy and we've got, players available that then can allow us to express our best selves. And I do think the Trent omission is a big one because I don't think Frimpong offers anywhere near the same level of threat. He's a different player first and foremost. And I think they are lacking that one extra magic passer from the back, which is what Trent was, quarterback type. And I think this is a really good opportunity for us. And, people will say on paper, these are the games that Arsenal struggled in the past. And absolutely. But that still doesn't hide the fact that we do have a very favourable run-in right now in our next 5 games. West Ham's interesting because our last 2 games against West Ham at home, we've not even scored a single goal. It's 2 L's back to back at the Emirates. So it's interesting because Newcastle and West Ham as a pairing over the past 2 seasons, we've not scored a single goal, and nor have we managed to take any points from them. But we've done well against Newcastle, and now it's about West Ham. Alex has re-entered the studio. He is back. He's got fantastic internet, and there's nothing going wrong.
Isn't it? There's nothing wrong. Sorry. Carry on.
That was it, really. I was just saying, our next 2, Newcastle and West Ham, over the past 2 seasons, we've actually taken no points from them, nor had we scored a single goal. So that's 4 games, no goals. Yeah. We've passed the Newcastle test. And West Ham, mate, they can't defend corners. Surely we'll be able to dunk a cheeky corner on their head top.
Yeah. I do find it weird, and it's easy to say this in hindsight because I wasn't saying it in the summer. Actually, no, that's a lie. I was. Ask Lawrence McKenna. Me and him had a big debate.
Big yourself up, Mr. Moneypenny. Big yourself up.
We had a big debate about Florian Wirtz. I didn't say it at the time because I just could not be bothered for the Liverpool gegenpress, and you know exactly what I'm talking about.
I know.
Florian Wirtz, fantastic player. Never in a million years worth what they paid for him. And actually, you can go back and look at my tweet from the summer. I didn't go too far, but I went, there are pants down everywhere. And what I meant by that is Liverpool fans buzzing and Liverpool have had their trousers down.
Yeah.
He's probably 80 million, probably, I'd say. He was never worth, 116 million or whatever it might be.
Yeah.
80 million.
He's a fantastic player. I've watched a lot of him, and I actually do think he'll bank. I think
at some point.
But it's one of those things. It's nice to be a bit petty, though, isn't it? The double 008 now.
But for me, when you spend that kind of money, you have to bang immediately. I'm sorry, and that's why I was pushing away from the Benjamin Šeško deal. When it was becoming that, and
that's what we all did.
55 million.
Yeah.
And if Šeško was going to be 80 or 90, no, because he's not ready.
Yeah.
For me, when you spend that kind of money, I also. Second thing on the Liverpool thing, the amount of money just because they didn't spend money last year doesn't mean we shouldn't look at the spending this year. But 400 million in one summer, you should be favourites. You should be favourites, 100%. And obviously the net spend is there, but they. And the main thing I feel is I find it bizarre. Their most productive way of scoring goals last season was the dynamics with Mo Salah, with
Yeah.
where he was picking up the ball, and they changed that. And I don't understand it. Like, it's such a strange thing to do.
Do you think that's maybe to do with the Trent, without Trent?
Yeah, no,
Do
definitely,
you know what I
definitely.
mean? So
But
that ripple
they've
effect,
obviously tried
right?
to shift it, but it's like they haven't tried to replicate it, or
Yeah.
do you know what I mean? I find it a bit odd.
Maybe again, it's kind of like transitioning away from the influence of a Salah as well, right? Because Salah was so dominant, and it was, from an attacking point of view, it go through Salah. He would be the linchpin. But now you've got, like you said, Wirtz is 120 odd million signing. You've got Isak, who's 100+ million signing. You signed TK for what, 80 odd million? These are big money signings, and I feel like they're trying to transition away from the influence that Salah has on the team, in a way that right now we're seeing significant teething issues. My thing about this, Alex, as well, right? And there's some interesting debate about this as well from the data analytics world. And it's like, so Liverpool this season, they've been scoring late, consistently, late after late after late. And my feeling with it is, it's not necessarily lucky, but they are going to regress to the mean eventually. They're not going to keep doing this every single time. How I quantify that, I don't know, but we saw it against Galatasaray, for example. They needed a late goal to get back into that. They didn't do it. So I feel this is why I feel like Liverpool right now, if they're going into games and it's coming to the last 10 minutes or so and they need a goal, if they do that in the next 5 set of games, my feeling is, well, they're going to drop points, because they're not going to be able to consistently perform in that final 10 minutes to what they were doing already. I don't know if you feel that, like they could argue, well, they're picking up points, at a time where the team is still needing to click. But my feeling is, if that continues to happen, and that's an if, you're not going to be able to keep sustaining the number of late goals that you are getting to seal points. Lots to digest there. Apologies.
No. But I think it's good to bring up, and I just brought up the Opta analyst thing here again, comparing actual and expected position. English Premier League 24-26, Arsenal expected, based on, so the position is based on the game outcome simulation based on individual shot XG from Opta analyst, and we'll come to that in a second. But you can see there, Liverpool expected are 8th. Now, in individual games, XG, you can take it or leave it, individual moments and things like that, so whatever. But I think it just does show trends quite well over larger samples, like where, how you're performing as a team. And that's a big concern for them. That is a big concern for them. So they have got some big teething issues. Look, ultimately, Liverpool are a team who are a little bit built to do that, but there's only so far you can stretch. And it's only so far you can ride that luck. And like, for example, Son, every single season, Son overperformed his XG. That's who he was, right? He was such a good finisher that from that position, a Son finish compared to a average Premier League striker is so that's what he does. So Liverpool, I think, are built that way because they play on the emotions, they play on the counter, they play they stack their team with attacking talent, etc. But that only, for me, wins a certain amount of points per season. It can't dig you out of that many holes.
Exactly.
And I think it dug them out because we were so poor last season. That wasn't necessarily showing up. So it's a fascinating one. I think this is going to be a much closer race. I
agree. And just quickly on this graphic, what team stands out there for you?
United.
Look at United.
United.
Pretty crazy, isn't it? Yeah. Again, we're dealing with a small sample size here, right? But it is interesting, isn't it? I actually do think United have played a little bit better than what the table suggests. But also, this is where data can be interpreted in a number of different ways, right? You could rack up your XG when you're 2-0 behind. For example, that doesn't factor in that concept as well, right? And also, there's another interesting thing I was thinking about where, so against Olympiacos yesterday, the XG from Scott Willis, I think it was around 2.2 to Arsenal, or versus 0.8 for them, something like that. So at face value, you're looking at 0.8 and you're thinking, that's pretty high for Olympiacos. But if you break it down, there's only one singular shot that is above. The highest singular shot XG that they generated was about 0.23. Everything else is an accumulation of shots that are resulting in low XG, but because it's accumulative, it's then adding up to this 0.8 figure. Every single shot is an independent event. In other words, if you roll a dice and you hit 6, and you do it 4 times, subconsciously you're thinking, oh, it's not going to be 6 again. No, it could be. It's the probability doesn't change. So each shot is independent of each other, and why I think there should be more value on like high XG shots in terms of chance creation. You know, like if you're generating a chance that's like 0.7 XG, that's a clear cut opportunity.
Yeah.
There's like, so there's so many different ways you can look
and
at
that's
it.
why, like, again, I generally agree with pushing for higher quality, lower volume, as opposed to higher volume, lower quality.
Yeah.
But you have to get the balance right, and ultimately we haven't quite got that balance right. So generally being on that side, I like, but there has to be moments where you create something out of nothing. Basically,
it's like you can't spam 20 shots in a game and each is like 0.1 XG. Because that's just not, you're not getting anything from that. Whereas you also can't have one singular shot which is like 0.6 and that's it. You do nothing else.
Yeah,
it's that balance, isn't it?
Yeah. Last half an hour of the show, we wanted to open the floor to you lovely people.
You got that in your locker?
A little bit of beatboxing.
Yeah.
But I'm going to ask you a question first. No, to be clear, that was terrible.
Yes.
I'm going to ask you a question first, Rohan. What is the most pointless stat in football?
In football?
Give us your questions in the comments. Any questions you want answered, Arsenal, non-Arsenal, anything you like. We're opening the floor to you. People want to get you guys involved. But yeah, I'm going to start with you, Rohan, and ask you, what is the most pointless stat in football?
Number of throw-ins, maybe? No, I don't think so, actually, because throw-ins.
But I suppose what I mean by pointless is like people say it, and it gives us very little
idea of what's happening in the game,
or it's maybe overestimated how important that stat is. I think possession could be up there.
It's up there, but I think it. See, this is why I do like field tilt. I know people don't like. I think I do like field tilt because it gives you a good indication of where these touches are happening and where this possession is. Like, I think field tilts are actually a really good stat. I know then you could counter it and say, well, you could have all these touches in the final third. If you're not doing anything with it, if you're doing niche with it,
mate.
They don't matter. But I think field tilt's a good stat. Possession to a certain extent, but I don't think it's.
But it's a good stat to assess the control of a game.
Yeah.
It depends on the context, doesn't it?
Yeah, but like you said, it's a good stat to judge the control of a game. So
but
it's not
possession. Yeah, I suppose possession is about control of a game.
I think possession has its weight.
Heat maps up there from Dead Zeppelin.
Is that
but it's not a stat, is it?
Well, it is technically because it's touches, isn't it? Which touches our stat, and then it generates a nice, beautiful picture. Colored picture.
Yeah, XG to a point says forwarder. Yeah, I think that's the thing with XG is like it can show you trends.
Yeah.
And especially I like moving averages where it doesn't like do that. It just like gives you a sense of like the last 10 games or whatever. Tackles 1 is up there actually.
Yeah, tackles 1 in isolation is not okay, right. It's
maybe duels to some
degree. So I was going to say
duels.
Yeah. I was going to say duels slightly because the reason why I think so. I was talking to Scott Willis about this. So like we could be in a game that's purely based on duels against, I don't know, Rotherham or someone, you know, and we could have won all those duels. But who's won the loose ball game? So what I mean by the loose ball game is right. If the ball is hit in the air, someone wins the header, and then other things happen, but who gets onto the ball that's loose? There's not really I was asking Scott Willis, is there a way to quantify that? And he says, I'm not really sure. But that really tells you more about what happens in the end outcome of the duel, isn't it? I don't really care what happens in the first contact. As long as I pick the second ball or the loose ball, that's all that really matters, doesn't it?
Yeah, I guess it's like applying it to the right thing, though, because it's like if you see, I don't know, a player was involved in 13 duels, you go like, you're busy, weren't you?
Yeah.
but yeah,
I guess it's important for like
it's all contextual. I'm trying to think of a stat that like just isn't relevant.
Think they all have their meaning, though, don't they? Like for example, duels could work for if you know Saliba's up against Ivan Toney and they've had 5 duels against each other, and Ivan Toney's won every single one of that. That's not really a great.
Maybe passes completed just as a number. Pass completion percentage, I think, has its like as in how many passes you didn't let go. But yeah, complete. If someone's like, oh, he had 120 passes, I'm like, okay.
Yeah. But then again, doesn't that, like, for example, with Erdegaard, if Erdegaard's had like 100 passes in the game, that tells me like Erdegaard's
Yeah,
cooking.
it's mainly from the centre backs.
Yeah, like Rodri's got 100 touches on the ball, 100 passes, he's cooking.
Yeah.
So,
I guess it's all contextual.
What is this hairstyle?
What is this? First question from the audience.
Okay,
what is hairstyle? Says Mohith.
I don't know. It's just that just.
Is your mother still accompanying you to the barbers?
Wow,
Mohith, you're not even showing your head in your picture.
That is bang out of order. That is bang out of order. My hair's actually really straight. My hair's actually really straight, so I can't really do much with it. So I literally just like trim the top and then sides.
Would you ever slick it back?
I can't. I have to put product in it. Loads of product. I can't be arsed putting product in it.
But like, would you ever give it like one of them?
I've tried it before, but it just doesn't suit me. I'm a simple guy.
I'd love to see you with a different trim.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you reckon I should do that thing? That guy, what's his name? United Strand, who's doing the not cutting my hair until I reckon my hair would look like his genuinely.
Yeah, that guy, it was a bit harsh, wasn't it, on that guy? Pulling his hair.
Oh, someone grabbed his hair.
Yeah. That game literally just grabbed his hair. Mate, if someone grabbed my hair like that, I'm not saying what I'd do, but yeah.
You're right.
I'm just gonna sit there now. I'm not just gonna stand there. So yeah,
what am I? Olympus Oh yeah, I'd kill him. What is your? I said that in a video as well. I was like, Joe Linton. If I catch you, and I was like, what am I going to do to Joe Linton? I am 6'12", to be fair. Olympus Infinity. What is your starting 11 based on realized talent at peak age and form? Oh, love you guys. You make my Thursday. Thank you so much, Olympus Infinity. You guys make it our Thursday. As in, Olympus, can you clarify? Do you mean the current team by like where we think they'll get to?
Yeah, what is your...
He's saying Jesus, Max, Salmon. Okay. So like 22, 23, Jesus, is that the best striker in the squad? Does that make sense?
Yeah, I see. Okay, right. Okay, so everybody at their peak?
This is a good question.
And this is just based on Arsenal, right?
Yeah, let's say, sorry if this isn't your question, but it's given me a...
Should we just do like peak Arsenal 11 from the Arteta era?
Yeah, that's a good question.
Yeah.
That is a good question. Let's do it. I'll bring up the tactics board. Yeah, so what we're doing, just to be clear, we're saying the peak season for a certain player in every position. So who had the best season? Let's say the right wing. It'll probably be Bukayo Saka. But what's his best season? Oh, it could be Pepe 2021. It won't be, to be clear. But yeah, I like that. I think starting up front, I think it is Jesus 22-23. I can't think of a better centre forward performance under Mikel Arteta.
I agree. Yeah, I agree. I think you've got three, right? You've got Aubameyang, FA Cup mode.
Yeah.
You've got Havertz post 23-24 January, and you've got Jesus 22-23. I'd probably go for overall synergy from the team perspective and what it did to the left. I'd go Jesus as well. Yeah.
I think it's Jesus 22.
But it's weird, isn't it? Because I still think the most complete Arsenal is the January 23-24 to the end of the season.
Yeah, I mean, Havertz 23-24.
Yeah, it was fantastic.
But again, that's because Jesus is kind of half season. That was kind of half season too. Let's do a random order, Rohan. Let's do goalkeeper.
I think it's Raya. Has to be. We say single season. I would say last season.
Yeah, I think it's 24-25.
The reason why is because I thought David Raya was doing everything post Luton away in the previous season, but the difference is to last season is we saw more eye-catching moments in terms of his actual shot-stopping capabilities. Yeah. So, yeah. Yeah,
I think it's right. And I think it will, if we were asked this question, honestly, if he keeps this up, if we were asked this question in January, I'd probably say this year.
Yeah.
Like I
Yeah,
really
yeah.
would.
Yeah,
I think
yeah, I'd
he's been
agree.
he's been top class so far this season.
Yeah.
Same with, by the way, Drury and Timber. We'll come to the right back in a second, but Drury and Timber this season, if he carries this on, right back,
I know who I've got.
I might go Ben White,
Yep.
23-24.
Agree. Yeah.
Yeah.
100%.
I think Ben White's 23-24 was, when you also consider what we know now about the fitness, the fact that Timber was out, I think
I agree.
that is, Timber off the back of an ACL. Let's go one of the midfield three. Rogue shout. No. Is that up there?
Absolutely. I'll tell you what, I think the season before was up there for Xhaka there as well.
Yeah, 21-22 was good. But
I
I think
the thing with
because
the
22-23 we're actually in a title race.
I think also the output as well, 22-23 naturally has that.
Yeah.
You lean towards that. But the problem I have with this though, Alex, is I think if you have Xhaka in there,
I don't mind if it doesn't function.
Okay.
I don't mind if it doesn't function. I just want the best three midfield performances. And I would go, I'd go Deck. By the way, people in the chat, this is just under Mikel Arteta. I'd go Deck. Ooh. Mate, marginally 23-24 maybe. No, 24-25.
I'd go 24-25 Declan Rice.
Yeah, 24-25. Odegaard, 23-24. Yeah.
Agree. Yeah, which is ironic because his best output season was 22-23.
But I think in terms of overall influence, out of possession, I think that season he was just magic.
Yeah.
Left wing, Gabby Martinelli, 22-23.
Yeah, it has to be. Yeah.
Yeah, I think so. I will come to you guys in the chat in a second if there's any challenges. Right wing, Bukayo Saka. I don't know
it would have been last season.
Last season, yeah. It would have been.
If he stayed fit, it would have been last season. But can we do? I think it has to be Saka. I'd say 22-23 Saka.
I remember 23-24. He had like 30 GA or something.
Yeah, actually, yeah. No, I'll buy that. I think his is quite difficult because they're all such a crazy level.
Yeah.
I'd buy that.
Left back's
interesting.
Zinchenko 22-23.
You're looking at Zinchenko or Miles. Because Calafiori, the sample size is not there, right? It's not there.
The thing is, right, I'm just going to make the case for Miles.
Yeah.
When Zinchenko came in, the level of the team was very, very different. So he stood out unbelievably.
Yeah.
But we were a very different team. For Miles to come in when he did last season, at the age he did, and perform as he did at the Zinchenko was playing Europa League. Miles was playing Champions League up against Rodrigo. Do you know what I mean? Like there is like, we did see a different level. And I also think with Zinchenko, I'm going Miles all season.
I'd go Zinchenko only because I think from what it offered to the other players around him, I think the impact that Zinchenko had in that season was.
What number was he?
33, wasn't he? 35. 35?
That was it. Yeah, that was it.
Yeah. I'd go Zinchenko 22-23. Yeah.
I'd go Miles 24-25 only because I think Zinchenko also towards the end of that season, not that he dropped off, but I didn't think he had as big of an impact as when he first came in. It was very much, you've got a new tactical role, playing in a different way. We see it much more obviously. I think the level of the team had more to go. Whereas I think Miles matched us and made us better in a harder context, in my opinion.
I do hear that argument. I just think I'd go Zinchenko because of where the team was and the effect that it had on others. And I think that whole left-hand side, Jesus, Martinelli, Xhaka, and Zinchenko just looks good.
Yeah.
This is interesting. Well, I've got Saliba for 22-23.
Saliba 22-23.
Yeah, I think so.
Wow. Okay. I would probably go Saliba 23-24.
Mhm.
I think he was marginally better that season. I think, again, 22-23, because you love that year. You absolutely
I like
love it.
23-24 more though.
You absolutely love it.
Well, actually, yeah.
I think he showed just a slightly higher. I think if you look at the defensive numbers, I think he was just at a slightly higher level that season.
Mm.
You agree or no?
I tell you what, I do think Saliba's best
I
season for us on the ball was last year, personally.
Yeah.
But I think he had the 22-23 season. He had like so many man of the matches as well. Like equally, he had loads last season as well. No, it's 23-24 actually. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
And I'm going Gabriel 24-25. I don't think that's a debate.
Yeah. The only thing is because he got injured towards the end, wasn't it? It's like,
Yeah, but
then again, Saliba also got injured 22-23. So
consider the defensive numbers, considering what was in front of him. Like,
do you know what? He is right here. Footy edits. Probably, yeah. I'll go
Saliba
Saliba
23-24 got man of the match at Anfield, Etihad, and Old Trafford. You concede in that one?
I'm conceding that one. Although I do think Gabriel was man of the match at the Etihad, but yeah.
Any challenges, people? That guy you're saying Senderos got robbed. He hasn't played under Arteta, so.
Senderos got robbed.
Any challenges, people? Oh, someone said Kieran Tierney.
Yeah, I just think the impact of Zinchenko and Miles was. Well, I mean, Tierney's creativity though was our only source of creativity in 2021.
100-point pace.
Absolutely, and 100-point pace in 23-24 post January.
We had this debate half a year ago. With Tierney 21-22. I don't remember that.
Did we?
I don't remember that.
Interesting. Interesting.
Oh, good one from Oliver Monk. Now do a prediction of which players from this season will be in that team by the end of the season. Could be a fun way to compare. Good question. I'm happy to concede Miles
to
go Zinchenko. Just to make it a clean team. I'll concede Miles.
Okay. Oh, right. Okay. Yeah. Cool.
Even though I think it's very, very close. Okay, so that is a team we think basically of every single player who's had the best individual season in each position under Mikel. Who is going to be in the team by the end? My predictions are I'm going to go Jurriën Timber.
Agree.
I think Timber 25-26 is going to be in this team. I think Gabriel 25-26 is going to be in this team. Agree?
Yeah, and I'd also put Saliba there as well because I think we're going to win the league. So,
yeah, I think Saliba. Yeah, I mean, ultimately, if we win the league, it's kind of.
But there's a lot of rotation though this year, isn't there? So it's not like set in stone a specific position. So that's what might favour some of these guys already.
Yeah.
So,
I also think Raya. I think Raya's 25-26.
Yep, I buy that.
Guys, hopeful little boys. Raya 25-26, I think. I weirdly don't. I think we're going to see a bit more rotation at left back at some point, and I think.
Yeah.
I
think we'll see more Hincapié.
Yeah, I think we'll see a bit of Hincapié. I think we'll see a bit more. Well, yeah, Calafiori will stay there. Miles will be there. I think we'll just see a bit more. I think it won't be as much continuity as we maybe need to see a whole season sample. You know what I mean?
I buy that. Yeah, I buy that.
I think
Zubimendi gets him.
I think Zubimendi gets him.
Yeah, I think so as well.
I always forget. What is he? 33? No.
Yeah, 33. 30. Is it? Oh, yeah.
Zubimendi 25-26. Yeah, I buy that.
Yep, I agree.
I think Eze maybe.
I don't think you'll play as much as we think in that position if Odegaard's available.
Yep.
So I'm going to keep Odegaard there because I think
Odegaard.
that 23-24 Odegaard was ridiculous. I think he'll play really well this season as well, but
yeah. I think for me, I think Rice
absolutely
will take that Xhaka slot there.
Yep.
I think Rice 25-26. He's already on a ridiculous run. he's kind of in the Raya Timber conversations, that maybe Gabriel as well.
Yeah, agree.
Odegaard, I think will stay. I think
but I don't know about if Saka stays fit. I think he 100% is in there. But I don't. Does he stay fit? That's the big question.
Yeah, he did. Obviously, he scored last night. He's not banging him in. Not that that's the only part of his game, but I think with Noni's influence, I think this might be a bit more of a transition year for Saka, coming more inside.
Maybe you choose left wing and you put Saka 25-26.
That'd be funny, wouldn't it? It took every part of me not to. Do you remember that poll I put up about Saka left wing?
I know. I did think of you when he scored that. I thought,
every part of me not to go back through every single quote tweet. Honestly, genuinely, and I know we joke about this. Some of the stuff people said was absolutely disgusting. Like
Ian
truly, no, me.
Oh, you
about saying Saka left wing.
Oh yeah, man.
So people like death. I know people are probably joking to some degree, but some of the stuff was crazy.
Yeah.
I think because we'll be seeing rotation, I think Jesus will stay.
I think Jesus will stay. I think Eze will be there. 24, 25 Eze. Left wing.
24, 25?
Yeah. 25, 26.
Off the left?
Yeah.
Will be better than Martinelli 22, 23?
I think so, yeah.
I think.
Well, actually, do you know what? 22, 23 Martinelli, he broke the Brazilian record, didn't he? I mean, there's not loads of Brazilian players that have played in the Premier League, but still.
Yeah. I'm happy with that.
I'm happy with that. I'll tell you what, if that's what it is, by come the end of the season, we'll win the league.
Yeah.
So let's hope
swap any 2 players to win the treble within reason. Any 3 players from our team right now.
What?
To win the treble.
Like, I can pick?
Yep. Rodri, Haaland, Foden.
Rodri. I don't want Rodri right now.
Yeah. Who? I mean, to be in our team.
Yeah, Haaland for sure, without a doubt.
Isak for me in this team.
Oh,
the way
really?
we play. Yeah.
But surely with the inclusion of Eze, I'd want more of a proper sprinter.
Yeah, maybe.
I'd want Haaland in the team. I'm picking Haaland. Haaland for me is the best striker in the league.
Yeah, maybe Haaland actually. You've convinced me.
I low-key think Haaland's been quite underrated recently. By the masses.
Yeah, I mean, when he had like his worst Premier League start, and it was like 6 in 4 or something. It was just like ridiculous.
Yeah, he's devastating. So,
Haaland. Anyone else? I'm really happy with our team.
From the treble winning team.
No, not as in any to win the treble, but any
oh,
team.
Right, and I can pick any team, any player from any team.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. Isak.
I'd pick Haaland. I'd definitely pick Haaland. And
yeah. Come back to it. Nindo, what are your guys' tactical ideals and what manager in world football exudes your ideology the most? Also, odds on Rohan saying his favourite season by the end of the stream. Cheers to 24 months. Cheers to you, Nindo. Have you said 22-23 yet?
We naturally had to. Give me your tactical ideas, Mr. Moneypenny.
If I was setting up a team?
Yeah, what are your guys' tactical ideals and what manager more football exudes your ideology the most? So what manager plays the way that you see football?
Probably the easiest thing to do is to go from Mikel and work and change what I would change.
Yeah.
I think the focus on, especially, and it also depends on the league, because if you're playing in the Premier League, like you have to focus on certain things compared to like other leagues. So let's say basically what would I change at Arsenal? And I said this before, I think a higher focus on releasing quicker, things like David, like I know David Raya releases quick, but like honestly, when everyone's up the pitch, that is your best opportunity to attack space. Once you've gone up for a corner or the opposition's gone up for a corner, I always feel, and I understand that the fear about it's coming back, but if you can train that thing to get them down the pitch and get released quickly and have players, whether it's a Martinelli or whoever it might be, I think we miss massive opportunities there because we're too risk averse in that position. I would go for a slightly different approach with the wingers, where I think I would focus less on inverted wingers and more on true wingers at times.
Strong-footed
wingers. I think in the Premier League, when everything's so compact, I think this thing of constantly having your wingers, and he is changing it a little bit, but I would really focus on. I would like make Madueke my left winger for like a while.
Yeah.
Or I might put Saka out there and play Martinelli on the right. Actually, I would have signed like a true right winger, a strong-footed right winger. And then I would probably drop Rice back. I know because I'd have Zubimendi. But I would play Rice would be deeper for me, certainly, than he is right now. I like that he gets forward, but I just think, again, similar to the conversation we're having, we're seeing improvements, but I still think there's his game is suited better the deeper he goes.
Yeah.
Those would probably be a couple. I'm sure there's other things as well. What do you do?
I'm always someone who's quite open. I don't really have a set idea. Like, if you're telling me what my favorite
players.
Yeah, it depends on the player. If you're telling me, I'm maybe not answering the question, but if you told me what my favorite team that I've ever watched play football, it'd be that Barcelona team. So anything that
I'd move the ball quicker.
I'd move quicker. For me, like, if I could, I'd want to play inside the block as much as possible, like quick combos, short combos, then getting through. And that's why I like that Barcelona team. For me, was my favorite because of how good they were. And that's why I enjoyed watching Arsenal's football as well with the wing fielders, because he just get as many like these wingers / midfielders, pack them all up and just let them do their thing. I like that. But I'm not someone like, I've got this tactical idea. I'm more someone like, okay, what are we trying to do? Does it make sense? If it makes sense, cool. Let's go with it. That's literally how I've always felt of it. I don't care. Like, as long as I enjoy watching it and I can enjoy watching it in any way, I'm cool with it. And there's an idea to it. There's a method. Yeah. I'm down. I do think Araiola's the next one to get a big job. Sure though. Like,
but yeah, I think it depends on the players. I in terms of what I enjoy watching, it's not quite this style. It's quicker, but I understand it and I get it. For me, it's about doing things that are undefendable. I think there's a lot of focus on patterns and stuff, and you can kind of stop patterns, things you can't defend. We do this, some of them, half space crosses. We don't do enough like diagonal movement across the last line. Picking players. If Saka's making a run, it's so hard to defend a runner who's moving from out to in or in to out across lines. It's so hard to defend that. Similarly, putting the ball into the box in that the corridor of uncertainty type thing. I don't think we do that enough. Those things,
the diagonal movement's a great one.
The things that are undefendable, I'd want to do more of.
100%. The diagonal movement is a really good one because it's like the defender. It's like that Robertson-Saka situation last season. Robertson's thinking Saka's going touchline, so he's orientating his body to defend that pass. And Saka comes inside. So this all happened very quickly. So Ben White's hit the ball over the top. Saka already knows that ball's going. So dynamically, he's ahead of Robertson in that moment. He's making the out-turn run. Then Robertson then has to adjust, turn, then track Saka. By the time he's doing all this, Saka's already on his bike. And it's just too much movement to deal with. It's so hard to play that pass as well, and it's so hard to execute. But I agree. That's why that Sadio Mane and Salah in their peak, they were killers of that. So
more diags as well from fullback and centre back. Do you think? Salah didn't have much. I've got loads. Oliver Monk, do you think we'll have any surprise players that show up for us to finally bring us the title? I'm thinking a late winner from an absolute piss missile. What is a piss missile? By Gabby Jesus, late in April kind of vibes. Oliver, you're after my heart, mate. Gabby Jesus, late season remontada.
I think we got a Calafiori screamer in there somewhere. There'll be one.
Yeah, there'll be a Calafiori screamer. But in terms of surprise players.
Would Calafiori not be a surprise then? No?
I do. He takes like the second most shots on our team, mate. I'm not that surprised.
That's true. That's true.
I do think Max has a role to play this season.
Yeah, I actually
really think he does. I'm sorry, I don't know he's so young, and I'm not expecting that, but this is the point. It's a surprise thing. I wouldn't be surprised if Trossard is still more important than people think. Mikel, absolutely. So it's not necessarily a surprise, but I think when we signed Eze, and Martinelli's finding a bit more form, and possibly people are thinking about next summer. If you're looking at an area of the pitch, you probably would go maybe something in that area. Interesting question. Obviously, we'll have enough time to talk about the summer window next year. But just thinking ahead, Trossard is, you don't extend someone's contract and you don't not extend someone's contract but give him a pay rise for nothing. I think he's going to have more moments than we think, and I think last night, yes, he was wasteful, but
He's playing well. He's playing well, mate.
He had 3 moments where he should have scored, and he normally does. So
I actually think he played really well against Man City as well. But it's not something that people want to say because of who he left out and who could have played there. I should point he could have played well against Newcastle as well. Just a chance that you'd expect him to bury. I actually think it's interesting because I said this to James. I feel like we're adapting more to Gyökeres with Trossard abandoning width, coming more central, because then it allows Gyökeres to potentially hit the channel. And I'm thinking to myself, that suits Eze as well. Like mate, sort of role. I said
this on the City game. The one that was the one I was more annoyed about than the Mourinho one. And I said this on the main pod as well. The Mourinho one I can make sense of. I really can understand it. The Trossard one, like, I think we're hyper focusing on the lineup. But if you're asking me what was Trossard's role and what could Eze have done in that game, that's the one I'm more annoyed about.
And that's now a role that's been consistent now over 3 games. So we played Newcastle, played Olympiacos. He's abandoning width. That's not something we tend to do. Like players will rotate as we get into the final third, but he's abandoning width really early in build-up. And I think that is tailored for Gyökeres. And I'm thinking to myself, Eze could do really well in that sort of role. So.
But mate, Trossard already 4 goals and assists in 7 games, 327 minutes already so far this season. I don't know where that sits in our squad. Let me just look that up. But like he's going to play, mate. Another one, which I saw someone put in the chat. Norgard. I think Norgard's going to pop up with a couple of set piece goals that are useful.
Yeah, he looked rusty against Port Vale, didn't he? I was watching that back and I'm thinking, oh, okay, interesting.
Port Vale game back. Mess. He's had more minutes this season so far than Odegaard, Lewis Kelly, Waneri, Ben White, Norgard. Great shout, Alex. We need to bring this back. The Great Shout Alex podcast.
A simple thing. A simple question, right?
Go on.
What should I do with my hair then?
Chat. Here we go. Right.
But I think it's fine.
5 minutes left for TCP Live. We want links. We want links to haircuts.
Right. Okay. Fine. Right. Firstly, I'm not a softie. Right. If you don't like it, just say it. If you do like it, do comment as well.
It's your hair though, mate.
Yeah, but I want to hear what people. I think it's fine. Alex, is it fine?
Why are you looking for my approval? Shave it off, says Go. Hair extensions, says Simon, says Hypno. Get a buzz. So I think you'd look cool with like a little.
But I did a buzz before. Like old pictures were buzz. Cornrows. What the heck are cornrows?
Cornrows.
Oh yeah, sorry.
People are going to absolutely kill me for this because of the history with this player, but I don't care. I think, what if you went for something like this? Like a slight, like a side part and slick back.
Oh, but it's like it's too much maintenance though.
But it's not. Once you've done that, your hair will start going that way.
No, my hair's really straight. It's really straight.
People saying low fade, mullet. Low fade because your hair's so straight.
Chat, do you like my hair?
Hot take, Rohan's trim is better than Alex's. So.
I just want to. I'm intrigued. I'm intrigued by what the comments are. That's all.
Why don't you get a perm?
I'll tell you one thing. I can never grow a beard though. I just keep it like.
I've just.
Chat, do you like my hair?
Rohan, we love your hair and we love you. Okay. Reverse fade.
Reverse fade. So you want me to have no hair here and then?
What is it?
Look, I think my hair's It's low key
Oh.
cooking. It's
I
low
think
key.
your hair, don't get complex about it. Your hair's cool.
No. I'm just intrigued. This is yeah.
Try what? Yeah, maybe get some highlights or something while you're still young.
Highlights.
I had I
Do
got
you have a
highlights
face?
once. Yeah, no,
Or
I had
your
highlights. Let me try.
festival
Let
era.
me try and find
era.
them. My festival era. What's that?
Yeah, but that's people go festival. You see a lot of the highlights and
I
whatnot.
had
Don't you?
highlights. Let me try and find it. This is back in the day. Oh, here we go. Is this a picture? Yeah, look at this. So this was my hair, mate. This was my hair. One sec. Let me get it on screen. That was my hair. At one point.
Yeah, hairline's looking strong as well.
Mate, we were cooking.
I feel like I feel like I podded with you with that hair, maybe.
This was 2021, so yeah, I probably did. What are you saying ooh for, Nasir?
Ew.
You're a cat, mate.
Mate, we've been podding for ages, actually.
Yeah, we have. When did we first meet?
I was doing my first job. So
Remember we did that video on
positional play?
Yeah, on positional play.
What?
That
Absolute dorks.
Absolute dorks.
Go and look at me then, chat. It's awful.
Yeah, you do look quite young, but I look young as well.
Yeah.
What was I going to say? I think I introduced you as like one of the upcoming analysts in the Arsenal space or something.
Yeah. Do you know what? I don't like being called an analyst. I know my content. I know what I tweet is very like. Sometimes it can be a bit, full on.
What if I'm like, there must be some people who only know you by your tweets, and they're like, why does this guy just use words?
yeah. It's honestly, like, I've really enjoyed just like putting new words and just letting it cook. It's not to make. Absolutely, it's not to make myself look clever. It just allows me to remember the word again. That's all it is.
I like it. I like it.
Inexorable. I'm going to pronounce it whichever way I want to as well.
Inexorably.
Inexorable.
We'll finish there. Thank you all for joining us on TCP Live. Rohan and James recorded a rewatch, which will be out tomorrow. Oh, I should have said as well. We have a new exec producer on the Cannon podcast, MJ, who MJ's been doing our editing and sort of like production assistant type stuff for a while. He's now our kind of exec producer looking at the long-term strategy. If you want to message MJ with any ideas for the podcast, if you want to just say hi, get involved, whatever, you can message him on thecannonpod@gmail.com. He'll be picking up those emails. But yeah, basically, George and I haven't had the space to do the sort of the long-term thinking of the pod. And we do want to sort of expand it out. And so MJ will be helping us with that. Rohan, have you seen one of Alex's first TDK videos? Why Arsenal are lucky to have Rob Holding?
I think, right, I know about this. I think that was the first one that hit the numbers, didn't it?
No.
I'm pretty sure it was.
The first one that did numbers was like a video about Mikel. It was like how Mikel made Arsenal challenge for the top 4 again or something like that.
Okay, maybe it was like second or third video. It's definitely one of the old most. And then that's the thing, isn't it? It's like you're going at a pace where you're like, okay, you're hitting views. Then there's a bang. Yeah. And then it's about maintaining.
Mate, it was like literally like, but the hard part was I posted one video that got like 10 views, whatever. Like I genuinely remember, like early days of Different Not Podcast, I would like refresh the Spotify for podcasts, subscribers, whatever, and I hit 100, and I was like, mate.
Yeah,
I was literally, I'd refresh it every day. It would be like 92, 93, and I was like, come on. And you kind of get like, you sort of forget about the numbers, but it is mad. It is really. Now
you're a global superstar.
I want to say global superstar.
You're a global superstar.
I'm a global
superstar. If I'm getting spotted at Cyprus Airport, you're getting spotted anyway. You're getting spotted anyway.
Ryan, it's my birthday today. Celebratory TCP Live. Yes, Ryan. Happy birthday. We're going to end the pod by singing happy birthday to Ryan. Everyone at home, you're going to sing along with us. Rohan's going to sing as well.
Yes, let's do it.
Happy birthday to you. Oh, it's delayed. Happy birthday to you. Happy
Happy
birthday,
birthday,
dear Ryan06.
06.
Presumably you're 19 today.
Happy
birthday to you. Yeah.
You see that from me there? I'll just stop because it was your moment. I was thinking he's cooking.
Thanks everyone for joining us. Happy birthday. Oh, that guy says try and pronounce that, Rohan.
Proprientipenultimate.
I'll give you that.
What was it? Well, you do it. You do it.
No, I'm not doing that. Ultra Cupidarian. Thank you all for joining us. We've got rewatches coming. We've got Maple coming, obviously, beginning of next week. We've got instant reaction to the West Ham game. We've got a Scouts episode coming. I think it's going to be on Drew and Timber. So if you want to check that out, join us on the Patreon side, as well as get access to all of the Scouted, all of the rewatches, all of the extra content. And you can also become a director, where you get access to George's monthly tactics show. You get access to the voting for the Scouted. So everyone, the directors have voted for Timber. So you get access to that. You get your name at the end of the show. You get put in a special place on Discord. Loads of stuff.
And you get a kiss from Alex.
And you get a kiss from me. You don't. You don't. Thanks, everyone. Thank you, Rohan.
Nice one.
Thanks so much for watching. And thanks. You say it this time.
For
keeping
it.
Oh. Let's do it one more at a time.
Okay,
Thanks
right. For
keeping
it
Arsenal.
Tens of thousands of football fans came to Highbury. This was one kind of queue the ladies thoroughly enjoyed.
Electrifying. Electrifying. Ferocious.